The trouble with us is we're in a rut. Too much work, no play. We don't take time to see our old friends.
Yes, not so many of our old friends left, Michael.
All right. We should be live. We should be live right now. Yes, another camera talk live stream. Ooh. I don't even know how to intro this live stream, you know. I'm telling you, like, I'm too pumped. I'm way too pumped. What's good, people? What's good, people? You know how it is, man. It's usually the quadruples, but it's going to be a trio tonight. But we're starting with the duo tonight. Sean Brooks, creative media director for Brooks Media, and myself, Ben from Lover of Tech. We are having another camera talk live stream, and of course, it's only going to happen a day after the bombshell of possibly the perfect camera just landed in our... Man, I'm too pumped, man. Sean, take over, please. Before
listen. Let's not say maybe the perfect camera. Sony has dropped the perfect camera. This is the camera that everybody's been waiting for. This is the camera that Canon was supposed to deliver, but they did not. So Sony said, "Don't worry about it, bro. We go ahead and pick that up for you. I got you. I'm going ahead and lay up on the 3-point line. Too, it's gonna be easy. Sony." Bro, listen, me and my boy Sean Miles was talking about this maybe a couple of months ago. I'm like, bro, a perfect camera for me is a camera that can just do 4K uncompromised, all 10-bit, a flip screen, Sony's autofocus. And if you want to, just to be nice, give me 4K 120. Just to be nice.
You know, like,
just to
do you
be
see
nice.
The pun he's dropping? Sean, be nice. Just to be nice. You know, he's dropping like hidden Easter egg bars. Listen, I see him.
Listen, you feel me?
Listen.
Just to be nice. And Sony said, oh, baby, I got you. Don't even, you want a flip screen? I got you. You want low light? I got you. Autofocus? Oh my God, bro. I love that camera. I don't even have it. I love it. Yeah. I love that camera.
All right. Let me just do house checking rules, ground checking rules. We fixed all our technical issues, but in the real world, we always got to make sure. And I want to let you guys know that we are dual streaming through the power of Restream.io on my channel and Sean Brooks's channel. But guess what? It's not just the fact that we're dual streaming. This stream is dual streamed in 4K UHD. Crispy. Like, I'm telling you, this is the crispiest stream you're going to see tonight, right? This stream is going to be vibes. We're going to talk some talk. And this has really, really changed the landscape of the camera industry right now. I kid you not. So I'll be in Sean's chat, and Sean is going to be in my chat as well. So we're going to show love on both sides. But just let us know, how is the video looking? If you're on Android or if you're on iOS 14 beta, you should see 1440p or 2160p. And if you're on the desktop and you got enough bandwidth and your ISP ain't gonna kill you, make sure you check it. Click the gear icon, go to quality. You should see 1440p and 2160p 4K UHD. Come on now, give us some feedback, give us some love. We're putting effort in for you guys tonight. Let's go.
This is true. Talk to us,
man. Yeah, man. So let's get some feedback before we commence.
So building a brand, he said something to me real quick. I just want to say, I hate the fact that I gotta agree with you, but yeah, man. So he said it made me look at my GH5 and my Black Pocket 4K like trash, but I'll hold off.
Yeah.
Listen, I can't lie on that, bro. Like, it made me look at my GH5 like, well, damn, like you once were like the camera guy. In my opinion, to be real, Ben, like we just got to talking about this, right? We got to talking about it. And the GH5 was holding its own, like for a very, very long time. Like we talking about at least 3 years at this point. At least 3 years for it to be a camera that was still arguably like
class leading, the most inviting, class leading mirrorless camera ever made.
And then Sony said, "Yeah, about that."
Bro,
Sony said, "Yeah, about that."
Bro. I don't even my video that I shot for the reaction. I couldn't contain myself because I knew I was potentially gonna come across as a Sony fanboy, right? And I was so scared, but I was like, no, this camera has done something for me to look forward to up to 2022 to be able to get. Like that's such a nice thing for me to be like, as I'm growing, what's going to be my next move? It's like I know what I'm growing into as a minimum, and that's not to account for whatever improvements will happen to the camera via firmware updates or any upgraded cameras that are going to come, because now they've set a benchmark where Fuji being a dark horse, they're going to sit down and think, damn, we're going to have to match it from an APS-C perspective. You know, the video, I'm shameless plug, but Sony literally, my dear Lumix video, Sony did everything in that video apart from saying, hey, we'll trade you the 6K 60p, but we'll allow you to see in the dark and it's full frame rather than micro four thirds. How about that? That's all they did. We'll give you everything that you said in that video, but we're going to give you full frame with the best autofocus, right? And we'll let you see in the dark. Don't worry about the 6K so much, you know, but we'll give you the 1080p 240, the 4K 120, but 4K 120 properly, not 4K 120 conformed in camera like the C300 Mark III does or the R5 does. No, we're going to give you 4K 120 and it will look like a normal video that you can take it into post and slow it down yourself with audio up to 1 hour with no overheating. Done. Like,
dog, listen.
No, that's
and what's dope about this is like you said, like even if you decide to buy this camera 2-3 years from now, 4K, you know, at that point will probably start being a household thing where everybody in the house have 4K, where maybe TVs will start to even broadcast in 4K. So technically, man, even if you buy this camera like, you know, 2-3 years from now, you're still like in pretty good shape. Just like if anybody was to buy like a GH5 now, they're still in pretty good shape. You know what I mean? Like listen, man, the Sony just don't get why Canon didn't do that.
No. They could have done it. They could have done it. All right, drop it, bro. Let's go. We're talking tonight, people.
Think about this, Ben. If Canon would have dropped the Canon R5 and R6 with no compromise, no stupid stuff like not being able to dual record to the SD card slots, not a stupid thing where if you're taking a picture, that's affecting the heat of the camera, which is affecting the minutes of how long you can shoot.
That was
which
a deal breaker for me.
There was nothing anybody can say to excuse that. Period. Canon counted them like they put themselves like they was in the race and they said, "Oh no, we don't want to be in it. We're gonna hop out." On here, Sony. The moment they did something that's stupid, I just don't get why Canon just didn't. They was first. If Canon would have dropped an R6 or R5 very similar to the A7S III, the A7S III wouldn't have been this monumental. Because it'd have been like, okay, well, Canon has already done this. Like, okay, now we got to pick and choose. And pre-orders, they would have had beat. But now you're seeing people cancel their pre-orders because of Canon's neglect. That's probably what it is.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate.
They neglected their market.
I love playing devil's advocate. Right? You probably won't remember, but we did a live stream way back when. Remember after you dropped your 1DX Mark III video, and then I said that what Canon have proven with the new Digic X is that there's a platform scalability there that they can exploit. Do you know what I think they can do? Someone in Canon is going to get fired, or someone in Canon is going to get in their feelings, and they can bring out something known as an EOS R4. Here's what the EOS R4 is, right? Maybe they will buy a load of A7S3s, break it down, and look at the passive design and reverse engineer it. Then what they will do is literally, just like the GH5S did. Remember, the GH5S is based on the same principle as the A7S II. Less megapixels, bigger pixels within the same sensor size. What if Canon does the same with the EOS R4? Because how it goes is this. R6 is the all-round, slightly high megapixel hybrid camera, right? R5 is their high megapixel camera, their A7R4, A7R3. And then the R4, right, which is the A7S III equivalent or the A7S II, is their low light beast that does 1-to-1 pixel readout for 4K with no overheating. Canon could, because why? They've shown that that Digic X processor has more shooting capabilities than the C500 Mark II. They could do. If Canon are smart, I just thought of it now. Playing devil's advocate, Canon are now out of the game. But if they go hard at it and really, I mean, when I say go back to the drawing board, I mean go back to the drawing board and spend every minute of every day saying we need to make, and there's no shame in that. GH5S did it, right, in a micro four thirds way. There's no shame in Canon doing the same and bringing out an EOS R4 that is low megapixels, right, and make it happen. Fix the cooling, right? Here's the problem.
Here's the problem. The GH5S was building off a very successful GH5 launch. The Canon's launch is horrid.
Crap.
So
dead.
To me, they have lost a lot of loyalty. Not like, you know, there's still Canon fanboys out there, but even the Canon fanboys are hurt. Like, damn, Canon, like, did you even do any type of R&D on this? Like, did you even, because to me, there's no way possible that you can create a camera like this powerful and in your testing process, this to never be an issue. It's no way you tested this camera and then come up with none of these issues. It's not possible.
That one, I 100, like, bro, I 100% agree with you. And where I say 100% agree with you is that I made 2 videos praising, obviously, where I think the R6 is worth it, but with caveats, and I stated those caveats. I made another video of why I was scared of the EOS R5, but I gave praises to Canon at the same time for the technical showcase of the Digic X platform and what it could do, right? I was worried about the overheating, but what I said is we do need to wait for it to be tested, for it to be confirmed. But when it got confirmed by 2 sources, right, that, bro, I'm being serious, it shocked me. I've never, and we give the A7R II and the A6300 heat, literally pun intended, for how they behaved, but they never, like, taking pictures and it affecting your battery life, that's one thing. But taking pictures where it's pre-overheating the camera. Let that sink in.
Right,
it's pre, like, before you can even switch the video, it says 2 minutes or 0 because the camera's already overheated. And you're thinking, what did I do? All I was taking was pictures. Bro, throw that whole thing away. Sorry, throw it away.
Dog, that to me, again, we have nothing else to talk about, Canon.
No, we don't.
The moment, and this honestly though, even though the A7, and what's crazy has been, if we just go back to this perfect camera theory right now, let me say what's good to Jason. Well, matter of fact, Jason, what up? I ain't gotta type your name. What's up, Jason? If we look at the cameras that's dropped this year, I think Sony is the first camera to drop with no issues.
None
so far. Everybody's canceling pre-orders. Everybody's like, yo, I'm about to go get this A7S III. I mean, everybody who has touched this camera has said the same thing. Like, that's a phenomenal camera. Like, and think about it, bro. The A7S II lasted us for like 9 to 10 years. Because the A7S II came out in 09, 2010?
No, so A7S II was October 2015, so that's 5 years. The original A7S was 3 years before. Either way, right? Think about it this way, and I tweeted it today. The A7 III is 2.5 years old, right? The A7S II is 5 years old. There are people still buying these cameras now that are excited and pleased. And this is what I keep telling people, that do not be upset that you're not in that time space to buy it now, right? There's early adopters and there's the ones that get it later. Imagine how you're going to feel buying an A7S III in 2 to 3 years. You're like, bro, you are going to be over the moon. You can't tell me that camera is going to be outdated by then. No way.
Or this to me is a hell of a sneak preview to the A7 IV. Think about this. When an A7 III dropped, Ben, it was only $2,000. And it had a lot of the same functionality of the A7S II. Even with the logo. So now
bring it home.
The A7 IV
bring
drops.
It home.
If the A7 IV drops and they don't even give you 4K 120, but they give you 4K 60 at 10-bit, and you still got the 24 megapixels, you still got the low light, and you still got the flip screen, and they say, all right, give us either $2,000 to $2,500 for it. Oh my God.
Bring it.
Oh my God, bro.
When I say bring it home,
on, bro.
Bring it home. Do you know, we all thought they would do all of it, but they wouldn't change, bro. They changed the menu system. They made it fully touchscreen. Full, like, bro. Let me just let me try and vibe down, right? And try and grasp what is a potential problem. The only potential problem is that for critical crop and reframing, 12 megapixels might not be enough. Right, that is the only thing you can say against this camera. Where I can agree with it is that I did a shoot recently. My Fuji X-T4, yes, it's 26 megapixels and is APS-C, but it's great detail. And I did a lot of crop and reframing, and thank God for the resolution, it still came out nice and clean. So if I'm going to be impartial, if that is something that matters to you, this is not the camera. Wait for the A7 IV, right? Wait for the A7 IV.
Okay, you know what, Ben?
That is the only thing you can say against the A7S III. That's it.
I'm not gonna argue that. Mainly because even though I want the A7S III, this really has me hyped for the A7 IV. Because now, you know what I'm saying? Now we know that Sony's gonna have a 24 megapixel something on that Sony A7 IV, right? And you know, maybe you don't even need the CFast Type A. Maybe you just want the dual UHS-II card slot, right? Okay, now we're removing. Now we can take money off of the A7S III, right? We could almost, what's the word I'm looking for, bro? Deconstruct the A7S III to get the price point for the A7 IV right now.
Let me add to that, right? Instead, dual UHS-II, Z-type battery, fully articulating display, full-size HDMI 2.0, not 2.1, because this one has 2.1. This is why it's the first camera to do 2.1, and it's doing 16-bit RAW out where there's no recorders that can do it right now. No, they've created a camera that no recorders can tap into the full 16-bit. That's how future-proof it is. 1, 2, right? They do the same rebody design, full touchscreen interface. Instead of the EVF being this overkill 9.44 million dot, put it down to 3.6, it's fine. Or even 5 million is fine.
Give me 5. Give me
5 is fine. But even if it went to 3.6, it's fine. But it's like, whether it's 3.6 or 5, the EVF, right? You got that body design, and then 460 tops, no 120, so no 4K 20, 4K 60 tops, right? 1080p, right? And then all the new codecs, and yes, maybe the extreme bit rate, but all the new codecs. We'll talk about the all-eye codec. Bro, did you hear what Gerald said? The all-eye codec is H.264, right? It's not taxing on the system like H.265, but even though it's H.264, it's all-eye, it's 422, and it's 10-bit, where you can land the footage straight into your NLE and not need proxies, because it's basically behaving like ProRes. And you know how ProRes is nice. Bro, when he said that, my mind blew, where I'm like, you're telling me I can have a camera that I can shoot my nice 4K 24p 42 10-bit in all-eye H.264, right, at 240 megabits per second, record it, put it in, and not have to work proxies.
Dog, listen again. And what's funny? Here's what's funny, and here's why it's another blow to Canon. Canon's files are not that simple. We've seen people trying to put these files in these cameras, dog. I mean, on these computers and these softwares, and have been struggling to edit some simple 4K footage. Now you have something like the Sony A7S3, and you sitting here putting this footage on the timeline. You like, oh well, wow,
Like
it's smooth like butter.
Like when he said that, yeah. When I say he said that, my jaw dropped. This is him. This is the first mirrorless camera where, let me say it out loud, guys, you do not need an external recorder. You don't need it. Having an external recorder is just a flex for flex sake. And do you know why it's a flex for flex sake? It can record to the external recorder at maximum quality, and you can dual record to both SD cards or CF Express Type A cards at the same time. You can have 3 footages all rolling at one. That's like, they've enabled that for the sake of flexing. You don't even need an external recorder.
Yeah.
Like,
you don't. You don't. I honestly, like, dude, that's something I'm like. I mean, this camera. I want the camera.
Same.
Okay, so Sony, if you are listening, baby, I trade in all the Panasonic gear that you need to get that A7 at your hand. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever for the ambassador program, whatever y'all need me to do, I'll give it all up. You only need one lens on that camera. To be honest, you got like a 28 to 75. Mm-hmm. It shoots again, Ben. It shoots in the dark. It has night vision. Okay, you can call it what it is. The camera has night vision. So, but you know what, Ben? Think about this. Let me hear your thoughts about this. I feel that the A7S3 has opened the doors for cheaper variable aperture lenses for Sony to kind of tap into. Because most people stay away from variable aperture lenses because obviously the depth of field, and then obviously like the low light.
Okay. I get what you mean. Yeah.
So now we start to drop these, you know what I'm saying, these cheaper lenses for people to get into the market too, with variable apertures of 3.5 to 5.6 on full frame it's still pretty good. That's a pretty still good shallow depth of field, right? But you got a camera that can shoot in the dark. So even if you have 5.6, you still got a very clean, usable image. To me, that camera has revolutionized the variable aperture lenses, because for the most part now, variable aperture lenses is kind of like, I don't know. But that camera, you don't have to worry about.
Fam?
You just don't.
Oh my goodness. Oh my God. Oh, wait. Let me press the oh my God. Oh my God. Sean, let me pick up the mic. Hold on.
Yeah, bro.
Wait.
Yeah.
Wait.
If we're gonna talk about it, we're gonna talk about it.
Bro. Yo, I didn't even know. Do you know do you know the gem you just dropped? Deep this. You have a wide and a zoom based variable aperture lens, right? As a video maker, all you do is you set it to the highest, whether it's 5.6 or 6.3, keep it there, and it becomes a constant aperture zoom lens, right? And because of the low light capabilities, you don't have to worry about exposure problem. And it's on full frame, there's going to be enough depth. Oh, bro, I didn't even deep it that way. Raw.
Now I gotta holler at my boy building a brand here. He said, I'm sorry, I don't know if you
I'm in your chat as well.
I'm
in your chat as well.
Okay. But they said if the GA6 doesn't come with it, might have to leave Michael Full Third and put up a full frame. I put you 100% on that. Listen, bro, that's why, or sis, I don't know. Listen, we're gonna keep it gender neutral. Listen, it's tough, because even if the GA6 comes out, and let's just say it's everything that I wanted for the GA5 to have, you know, better autofocus, better low light, it's still not gonna be the low light of an A7S3. It's still not gonna have the autofocus of a Sony camera. You know, so the only benefit I would have for sticking to a GA6 is the fact that I don't have to upgrade my lenses. My lenses are still fine. You know what I mean? Like I still got great lenses. This is why, honestly, I don't want the GH6 to die. I don't want Micro Four Thirds to die because I don't mind Micro Four Thirds. But if I have to make that switch to full frame, I will.
So, you know, just to answer his question, shameless plug, I made a video about Dear Lumix and what the GH6 needs. And if Lumix don't bring that, Sony have done everything that Panasonic needs to put in the GH6. And like I said, the only thing they've not done is said this. Instead of doing the 6K at 60 frames a second, like the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera 6K can do, right? We'll trade you that. We're going to give you a full frame sensor, which is more than double the size of Micro Four Thirds. We already had the best autofocus. We're just going to make it better so that, you know, you can be at extra peace of mind, right? And then we're going to allow you to see in the dark. And the nature of the nature of being able to see the nature of being able to see in the dark basically means that because the pixels are bigger, you get better dynamic range, right? You get no rolling shutter, right? You get a much cleaner filmic look, and you get a new base ISO of 80.
Dog. The S-Log base ISO is 160. My base ISO for V-Log and HLG is 400. Dude,
bro,
that's
fam. I'm saying
the GH6 don't have to come like with some real stuff to make me be like, okay, you know what I mean? Like, I'll stay. Like, they gonna have to really drop because again, the GH5. Honestly, if I have to be real bad, I'm comfortable with keeping my GH5 for like another 2 years. Of course. Anybody who knows cameras knows like this camera can still bang. But
can rock with it.
If the GH6 can come out and then fix everything wrong with the GH5, we're gonna give you dual native ISO, or we're gonna make sure you know we'll give you listen. I don't even need the ultra low light of the A7S III. If they can give me clean, usable base ISO or a clean usable ISO at 6400 or 12,000, if I'm pushing it, but I'm cool with 6400. If you can give me a clean ISO at 6400 and maybe a first generation phase detect of a Sony camera, I might stay.
Oh yeah, but you see, but are they gonna do it though, Sean? Let's put it this way. Sony have set the benchmark so high that any camera that's trying to compete within that realm that misses one beat, it's not good enough. That's how peak it is for everyone now.
That's true.
If you miss autofocus, like Panasonic, if you do everything and you don't put autofocus, you've missed the mark. Do you see? That's how peak it is now in terms of what they've done. You see, and this is where Panasonic have not helped themselves, where they're too far up into full frame. One, they are being so stubborn to still keep contrast detection autofocus that it's just making me sick now. Like, I'm sick of it. Sorry, it's not about tapping into autofocus all the time. That's not it. People think that because we want autofocus, we use it 100% of the time. No, but it's the technology has proven to be at a point where now it's so accessible at the price. Why are you not putting it there? Why?
Ben, the moment I forgot what camera it was. One of these cameras came out last year, and I seen them get an update to phase detect autofocus. And I'm like, well, Panasonic, but what's up? Take Olympus, phase detect, make it better.
That's it.
Right? Make it better. And I'm going to stay with you. I'm going to be real with you, Ben. If Panasonic gives me even Olympus phase detect autofocus and give me a clean, usable 6400, give me 4K 120 and 10-bit in all modes, right? I would stay with Micro Four Thirds.
Bro, the reason why I'm saying I'm with you is everything I said in that video, Sony did minus 6K at 60p. And people think, oh, 6K, bro, the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera does that. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's not a spec that is like it's all specs that it's a mix of what the competition can do, and it's also pushing forward for the next generation, right? And Sony have done that. So it's not anything within reason. And Lumix have no excuse because one, they're working with a smaller sensor that's going to be less stressful on their processor and their heat management and their body design system. If Sony are doing it with a fanless, guys, Sony cheated physics. They're doing it with a fanless design on a full frame camera that is no bigger than the A7R4. I'm sorry, Lumix. You now it's like you have no excuse. So it's either you do it or you don't. And I have a feeling that they're just gonna abandon the GH6. I'm sorry to say this, but I think seeing what Sony have done, Sony have actually put the nail in the coffin with Olympus falling, and Michael Four Thirds is now dead. In terms of the future of Michael Four Thirds, I think it's dead, and I think it's sad that that's the case. But I think Lumix are now, look at all the clout that they're getting with the S1H for full frame and ProRes RAW and all that stuff. They're too invested in that.
But that's also due to the fact because of the lack of, I guess you got a point, because of the lack of concentration they have on Michael Four Thirds. They did focus on it. But to be honest, bro, they're focusing on the S1H even more than the other line of cameras. Even like the S1 and S1R. Like they're focused on the S1H because they're touting this as a Netflix approved camera. But what's crazy is, man, they still have a crazy audience in Michael Four Thirds apartment.
Thank you.
People still have lenses.
Thank you.
People are still buying GH5s now.
Tell them.
So to disappear and walk away from it, man, that would be like a real. If it to be honest, man, if they didn't put out a GH6, especially even this year, that would be a real slap to the slap in the face of the consumer,
bro.
It would, because it's like,
tell him,
Panasonic, you ain't saying nothing. We got all these cameras dropping. All we asking for is for you to say. And what's crazy is, bro, Michael Four Thirds users are like, we're realistic in our expectations. We're not asking you to do anything that's out of this moon or pushing the boundaries of this sensor. We're just saying, hey, if you give me reliable autofocus and some good usable low light, the full frame look, the depth of field, we don't even care about that. Like, I don't care about that because my footage still looks good. I got some amazing primes. The shadow depth of field thing is not a thing for me. I don't, it's just not a concern. But as far as the low light, I need that. I want to be able to use this, comfortably at 6400 and be like, oh, okay, I'm good. I'm fine.
If you jump into my chat is popping as well. You can see a couple of people and what there's. Let me send you the URL for mine.
I'm right here.
Oh, you're there, yeah.
No, I'm here. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm here.
Just so you can follow a couple of the stuff that I'm saying. So Trenton, all cameras have been put on notice. You can't come out with a camera that has compromises over $3,000. Facts. Absolute facts. True. And this is what I'm saying about the bar has been set so high for usability and price accessibility that you like, I'm saying no one has got time. And I said this, right? There is no brand loyalty. I'm on Fuji, right? Fuji could keep me on here easily. And Fuji, they're dark horse. They are the closest to doing what Sony just did now. And they've got time where they can do it for APS-C and keep it going. Do you know what I'm saying? There's only a few things they could do. So Fuji could keep me, and think about this. All of this that I got, bro, you saw my kit today. I got all of that less, I mean, not even a bit, less than a Canon R6 body by itself. So the value of what a crop sensor can do with all that power is still there, right? So this is where this is where the bar has been set, and you guys know how Fuji are. They listen as good as Sony do. So they're gonna be like, okay, you're bringing, we have to bring. Guys, go back to the drawing board. Do this. And this is what I love right now. I'm loving the competition that is bringing, where you have to go back. And this is what I'm saying. Canon have to go back to the drawing board and bring out an EOS R4 that near enough mimics exactly what the A7S3 does, as well as what the GH5S did. Panasonic, like I said, they were capitalizing on the great announcement and the release of the GH5 and said, you know what, let's look at what Sony did. Let's take out IBIS. Let's bring a great low light performance to Michael Four Thirds to kind of let people know that, you know what, this conception of Michael Four Thirds being poor and low light, let's debunk that and just do what Sony did. 10 megapixels, bigger pixels in a Michael Four Thirds, and we can do more stuff. Why can't Canon do that? Canon, listen. It's over for you now. I'm sorry. R5 and R6 here, it's a write-off unless you are pitching it purely to photographers. It's not a hybrid camera. If I'm gonna take pictures,
You know what? I agree with that, Ben. I agree with that 100%.
that's it. That's
You're
the only
right.
way.
They wrote that camera off. This camera is geared towards photographer. If you are a videographer,
Don't buy
you
it.
cannot use this camera.
Do not use it. Sorry, I'm saying it right now. If you want to use video, this is not a hybrid camera. The R5 and R6 is not it. Don't use it. If you're a photographer and for some reason you're so in love with Canon when it comes to photography, you want the dual pixel autofocus generation 2 and whatever it is, by all means, feel free. No one's going to hold it against you, right? But Canon, if you want a serious video hybrid camera, go back to the drawing board, just copy and paste what Panasonic did with the GH5S and the A7S III and just do an EOS R4, low megapixels, and just fix the cooling system in there. Passive or active, just fix it. Done.
So here's what's crazy, Ben. The reason why I still refuse to believe that Micro Four Third is dead, or that, you know, full framing is going to be the new wave. Crop sensors are kind of like, you know, to me, like right now, if somebody was to buy a GH5, you know what I'm saying, instead of an A7S III, let's say somebody say, you know what, I still want to set the Panasonic. Somebody can get them a GH5, a drone, a gimbal, 2 to 3 prime lenses, right? Camera book bag, couple of batteries, maybe an ND filter, and they would still be under the price they would pay for an A7S III right now, and still be, and they would actually, and one could argue they would be off in a better position with that gear than just that one A7S III would buy.
I'm that person.
So, you know, I'm right. So I'm not saying this to take away from anything from the A7S III, but I am saying this to say, like, there's still a place for crop sensors if you make them relevant still. So Panasonic can still make Micro Four Thirds relevant by the pricing. If they bring out another GA6, think about this, Ben, because now we can go there. They bring out another GA6. They got, you know, Olympus, phase detect. They got 6K at 60 frames per second at maybe 8-bit 420, right? But you get 6K but you get 6K 24p at 10-bit 422. I'll take it. Okay. You get 4K 120. You get 8 stops of IBIS. You know, maybe 14 and a half stops, something like that for dynamic range, and you price this at $2,000. The A7S III would not be on my radar. At all. Period.
Bro, I couldn't agree more. When I say I couldn't agree more, I even think for the fact that their new Venus-based processor platform that is in the S1H, it being scaled down to a Micro Four Thirds, they can even do 42 10-bit up to 4K 60. They can. Seriously, they can. If anyone understands like how these internal processes and how these sensors get read out and how it can be done. It can be done, especially if they go with a dual processor layout. If they wait and they get better manufacturing processes and they stick 2 processors in there, like what Sony have done, they can do it. My point is, there is no excuses now. The camera scene is a bloodbath at the minute. They're not making that much money. It's all about survival. And I kid you not, there is no brand loyalty. You either come to play, or if you're going to be like a daisical, you're going to get eaten alive, right? It happened to Samsung with the NX series. It's now happened to Olympus. Nikon is on the verge as well. Pentax is on the verge. No one is safe. So if you don't come to play, right? I kid you not, I love Fuji for where I am now, because exactly what you said, bro. I'm going to bring a bit of open play here, right? I got the body, the battery, grip, right? The f2.8 16 to 55mm lens. Yeah, and I got a flash kit for £2,200. That's £300 under. And on top of that, I had time to buy a VO150 Godox with my Atomos Ninja V. Bro, all for less than an R5. So I kid you not, that is the power of crop sensors. That is the power of crop sensors. And let's be honest. You've worked to Fuji footage and you know Fuji footage is good. Bro, up to 400 megabits per second, 10-bit, right? like there's no compromise to the footage. It's the best footage I've worked with, and I probably won't even be able to maximize it by the time I finish. You see, so this is where Lumix, you need to get it done. You have to get it done. When I say you have to get it done, there's two ways you do it. You bring out two cameras, and this is what you need to do: GH6, GH6S. Like I said in my video, the GH6 needs to be 24 megapixels because that is the upper limit of what a Micro Four Thirds sensor I personally think can take. But 24 megapixels is what you need for 6K. That is the resolution. 6000 by 4000, 6K, that's what you get. You need to make sure that you bring out a GH5S that mimics exactly what the A7S III did. Smaller pixels for better low light. Focuses on the best 4K experience. You've already done a lot of that in the GH5S already. The GH5S was the first camera to do full high definition 240 frames a second. People forget that. Yes, there's a slight crop, but the crop wasn't that much. That was the first camera that did it. You see, so a lot of what you've been able to achieve, you have the tech, and the tech has moved forward. Get your act together.
You know, to be honest, Ben, I feel like they combined the GH6 and the GH5S, priced it at $2,500.
Yep,
and what I mean by that is
that.
like, I feel like they could use like a quiet barrier sensor or like a sensor, whereas I'm pretty sure it's a quiet barrier sensor, whereas like, yes, the base of it is like 12, but when you're doing photos or something like that, it could double up for 24.
Thank you. Now,
if Panasonic can do that, come on, think about that. You sitting here, you're taking pictures, they're 24 megapixels, then when you're about to shoot, you get to video mode, you get the full readout of the sensor at 12 megapixels or something like that. And now you get that awesome low light. You're still getting great. Come on, dude. It's something.
And this is what I mean about this is the kind of creative level of thinking and R&D that they need to do to show that crop sensors have a place. And it worries me that they're not going to be able to do that. And it's really sad. But right now, it looks like full frame is now basically just saying like, look, we just want to cut the confusion out with crop sensors and just make it full frame all the way.
Yeah.
And if Panasonic, and I have faith that Fuji will hold down APS-C. I have faith they will, right? But what I'm really struggling, especially with Olympus Fallen, is will Panasonic make a statement that crop sensors have their place? Because they do, but without them, it's done. Sorry, it's done.
That's true. I agree. If Panasonic to come out and make a statement, a bold statement, Micro Four Thirds will more than likely die this year.
It's done.
Panasonic, with the death of Olympus, Panasonic has to say something this year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even if it's like a rumor, even if they say, hey, we have an announcement. If they say something like in October, September, announcements coming soon. Okay. I'm listening. You have my attention. Maybe Micro Four Thirds isn't dead, but if they go this whole year and don't say anything about, even some updates, they haven't even said any updates about the GH5, the GH6. And it's like, come on, dog. Like, y'all just really just gonna be like, we're still here, right? What's crazy is most like your market was heavily saturated by Micro Four Thirds. That's what got you afloat. That's what helps you be able to put the R&D into full frame. So now to just abandon it, now it's like, well, damn.
It's disappointing.
You loved me a little bit.
It's disappointing, bro. It's really disappointing. And as a video filmmaker, I going forward, especially with this new decade, after what the A7S III just did, I will very much struggle to recommend a Micro Four Thirds system to anyone at this rate. Unless they didn't care. And it's not about the upgrade path. When I say upgrade path, I'm not talking about moving to bigger sensors, but I'm saying the upgrade path within that system, there not being an upgrade path where there isn't going to be a newer model that's going to not just give you more features, but give you more features while still not compromising on power and ease of use and flexibility and usability. I think you're buying into a system that's dead. And if you see the progression,
here's the problem though, Ben. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I'm saying if you see the progression of the GH series from how quickly it moved up to the GH5, the drop off is way too much now, man. Come on.
I agree. But here's the thing. The reason why it's hard for me not to be able to recommend a GH5 or Micro Four Thirds to somebody is because it's still You know, like, listen, bro, people still buy Canon 5Ds Mark
True.
IVs, Canon 5Ds Mark IIIs. You know what I'm saying?
True.
Granted, they have lenses and it's still being pushed, but you can't deny the power that you get for the price,
Oh,
the
yeah.
compactness you get for the price.
Yep.
Like, you know, the commercials, the films that you're able to shoot because the Panasonic GH5 makes it so easy for you to use anamorphic lenses with the D-squeeze function.
Yep.
Now you can shoot in 6K.
Yep.
So use the D-squeeze function.
Yep.
And then if you want to get more stuff, you're able to maximize your dollar by buying like a GH5 or something right now, or G9 or GH5S. Honestly, Ben, I wouldn't even be mad if I bought a GH5S right now to be my B cam. Sold my G85 for like $400. Maybe find a GH5 for like another 12. Okay, that's $800. The GH5S is definitely worth an $800 upgrade for me.
I agree.
So it will be into buying a dying system. Yes, I agree. But at the same token, if you buy a GH5 now, you're still good till at least 2025.
And all those reasons are why it annoys me. Why are we not getting any spotlight for future progression of MFT? For all of what you said, that's what hurts more. That's what hurts more. I know it sounds like an oxymoron, but honestly, for all those reasons that you stated, that's what hurts more. That Micro Four Thirds is literally just being left, you know.
Yeah.
But on the main point, right? There has never been a camera that's come out where majority of pre-reviewers, early sample reviewers are saying pre-order now, because if you don't, you ain't gonna get it for a long time. I've never seen credible people say pre-order now. I'm saying to the point where they're like, yes, this is if this is pre-production hardware performing this good, pre-order now.
Right?
I've never seen that. Come on.
Listen. Think about this. Sony knew they had a winner.
Yep.
Because they didn't do what Canon did, right? They didn't say open up pre-orders. They didn't announce the camera in July, then open the pre-orders by the end of the month. Sony like, no, y'all gonna wait till September because we know how many of y'all gonna want this camera. Period. Period. I think Canon knew, and I think that's why Canon opened their pre-orders up so soon, because they wanted to try to grab as many pre-orders before that Sony camera drop. But it's like, this is what happened when you rush a product.
Do you know what?
They knew the A7S III was coming out. They tried to attack, and they failed.
They failed, but you know what their biggest failure is? From January and the year before, right, coming into the new year, where they were doing all their pre-development announcements, right? Do you know where their biggest mistake was? Everything about what they screamed about that camera was all video. We only found out about the resolution of what is meant to be a photo first camera when it was announced. And if they'd done what Sony did with the A7R4, so A7R2 and 3, where I remember vividly everything about what Sony talked about those cameras was all photos. They did not focus anything on video for those cameras. So any heat that they were gonna get, pun intended, right? It's like they're like, look, we just happen to put it there, but we really want you to focus on photo. Canon came in like, this is the video camera you've been waiting for, but you went from a mini HDMI to a flipping micro HDMI in a fat full frame body. You're really telling me you couldn't at least keep mini, and you couldn't at least try and get a full size? You went back to micro in a big body like that? Do not make any excuses.
It doesn't make sense.
Never. That will even if it's Fuji, you guys see in my videos, micro HDMI on these bigger bodies has no place. And if you can't build and design your camera bodies around that, that's poor design choices.
Agreed.
I think we got Sean Miles.
Agreed. Sean Miles coming through?
Yeah.
All right. So, while are you doing that, I'll just keep talking to him about why. So let's do this. I'm gonna tell y'all this, okay? So while Ben's taking care of business, I wanna get something out to you guys so you guys don't feel like this is the camera.
I'm gonna switch the screen just to you, Sean, because I need to bust a pee, and I'm gonna sort out the three-way, right? So I'm just gonna switch it to your screen, transition, and it's just gonna be Sean on the screen.
All right. So, all right. So I want to tell you guys this before we sit here and think. I know the A7S III is a dope camera, and there's so many new cameras coming out, man. At the end of the day, buy what you can afford right now. I know there are gonna be so many YouTubers sitting here telling y'all like, "Hey, man, this camera is dope," and which it is. Even for me, like if I made a video right now on it, I would say like it's a dope camera. But at the end of the day, it's like you have to analyze your market and your clients, even your YouTube work. I like to me the A7S III is not a YouTube camera. That is not. You do not need to buy an A7S III if you are a YouTuber. If that's all you do, that is complete overkill. But if you're somebody like me who creates YouTube content, but your primary focus is video, then analyze your business. So if you don't have a client, if you can't charge a client a job of the price of a camera, then you don't need it. Period. If you can't charge somebody $3,500 for your work, then you don't need a $3,500 camera. It's that simple. It's literally that simple. So for me, like right now, my highest paying, like my highest, the commercial that I charge right now. Okay. The the job that I charge for right now, right? The highest job is like 3K, right? That's my max limit right now, typically what I charge for work. So technically, if I had to be real, I'm not at an A7S III level. So for me, this like I want it. Don't get me wrong, because I'm a camera nerd, right? So of course I want this camera. But if I can't find a way to justify, if one job can't buy you a camera, it's a camera you don't need. Rule of thumb right there. If you ever need to know like when do I need a new camera, if one job can't pay for a camera, you don't need it. Now, if you sit here charging this much and you like, well, I kind of need a drone. Okay, a job can afford the drone and some of the stuff. A job can afford an XT4. A job can afford a Canon R6 if you want to go that route. But the A7S III, I mean, right now it is a perfect cameraman, but at the end of the day, it's just a camera. Okay. And I know these YouTubers, what's crazy is these YouTubers are like the cameras is out. Don't get me wrong. Like the videos I've been seeing have been fired. But like for example, the Maddie Happoy video I watched. Now don't get me wrong, Maddie, a couple of videos, past videos lately has been fired. So Maddie, if you watching, you probably not. But if you are, your video has been fired as lately. But the video like with the A7S III, if he shot that on a Canon SL3, if he shot that on Sony A7 III, it would still look the same. Is my point that I'm trying to make. So I know right now all the footage is going to be like very, very good. I know like it's gonna like you're gonna want to apply this camera based on what you're seeing. But just know, based on what you're seeing, 9 times out of 10, with the camera that you have, you can get the exact same footage. Period. It's literally that simple, y'all. So don't get caught up in the hype. I know we're talking about ISOs and the 10-bit footage and all that, but right now, even for me, my GH5 has 10-bit everything internally. Even my full HD, 200 megabit, 10-bit. I'm good. I'm rocking. So again, the A7S III, but it's definitely not a need as of right now. It's not a need. Not yet. Soon, but not yet. Not yet. Ben, you back yet? You coming in yet? Okay. All right. So right now, Ben is still rescheduling everything just to make sure we get our other guy in so he can give his feedback, and obviously my partner who I do videos with. But yeah, I mean, A7S III, like I said, you know, it's a dope camera, but don't go breaking the bank trying to get it. You know what I'm saying? If you have a camera right now, think about what you have that's going to fundamentally, again, we go back to this, y'all. Think about how it's going to fundamentally change the way you're going to shoot something. So if you have a camera right now that does 10-bit, that does some type of 10-bit, whether it's 4K 24, okay, that's good enough. Or if you have a camera that does 1080p 60 at 10-bit, okay, that's still good enough, more than like what you need. Think about what type of mics. How's your audio sounding? How's your lighting sounding? How's can you afford a drone right now? There's so much more you can buy other than you spending your life savings on an A7S III. Because after taxes, after it's all said and done, that camera is going to be at least close to $4,000. And if you don't have a lens, you're buying into this new system, you're gonna spend close to $5,000 on a new camera. So if you don't have a job that's paying you $5,000, you do not need to get this camera. Okay?
We are back. I think we are back. Sean should be able to hear.
Right.
Sean,
I'm here.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep.
Loud and clear.
man.
All right, so
You see, man, I got the technicals down. Look, guys, listen. We are in 4K UHD. We are celebrating the 4K endgame camera that was the Sony A7S III. We are streaming in 4K UHD. If you've got devices and the bandwidth, click the gear icon, select the quality, 1440p or 2160p 4K UHD. We're bringing you heat tonight, man. But no overheating. Just remember that.
Exactly, Trent. Exactly. Trent hit it right in the head. Honestly, he's like, yo, if you're not color grading, you're not buying an A7S III. Like, if you already have a camera that's already, you know what I'm saying, pushing out good enough color for you to do, because most of the, and Sean, I know you're backing on this, most of y'all, or most of us, I ain't gonna point, y'all out, are shooting and don't even realize, like, you don't even need, like, why do you even think you need 10 bit? So yeah, the A7S III, get it all for you, but analyze your purchase before you sit there and say, like, yeah, man, 90% of this camera do it, I need it. That's all I'm saying.
Shaw Miles, over to you, man. Introduce yourself, drop it in, let people know who you are, and let's go. Let's hear your thoughts, man.
Yeah, well, in case you all don't know, Sean Miles, legendary videographer based out of Chicago. Shoot with my man Sean Brooks with Brooks Media, also legendary, sick with the camera. So we doing the damn thing. I'm hype as hell for this A7S III, man. Oh my god.
So listen. I want to say this, y'all, before we get going. I am not a good friend. I'm trying to convince Sean by any means necessary to buy this camera.
Get it, Sean.
Technically, he really doesn't need it, but I want to be that voice of bad reasoning because I want it in my hands too.
Yep. This is your camera, Sean.
Bro.
Go on, give it to them.
Yo, October, I'm confident, man. I'm confident. I'm being slightly responsible. I could comment now, but I'm like, nah. I'm gonna wait. But I feel you though, Sean. I feel you.
Yeah, I'm listen, y'all. I'm dead serious. When I hit Sean up, I said, Sean, I'm not gonna be the voice of reason for you in this. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that no, Sean, you don't need this camera. For what do? We don't even make enough to even our jobs. I mean, we can't even buy this camera outright. But I said I don't care about none of that. I want you to buy this camera, please. That's something.
He said, please.
I want to test this camera.
Yeah, it's funny, man.
Listen, please.
Yo, but when I do get it, oh my god, we going out shooting every day.
Dog.
Anything. We shooting leaves, butterflies. It don't even matter for the distance. We shooting stuff that doesn't even matter.
I gotta get an instant transmission to the crib so we can do the unboxing right there. Oh, so here we go. At Sean Mallon's house, we're doing the unboxing of the A7S. I can't wait. I cannot wait for Sean to get his hands on this camera. But who knows? You know what I'm saying? Like, as of lately, your boy been rocking with the jobs. So I might mess around and end up getting a job for like 10K. Like, all right, Sean, we're buying 2 of them. So, you know what I mean? I say this now, but, the A7S III is so hard not to buy. I get it, y'all, but just analyze it. Feel what I'm saying? But it's a perfect camera. So it's like, whatever.
But Sean, drop. Like, I want to hear from you as a colorist. Like, bro, this is your time now, man. Talk. This is you.
Yeah. So listen. Like, first of all, let's just start with Canon, right? So, props to them for trying to really, push the envelope with the R5. You know what I'm saying? I think it's admirable. I can't think of another camera that can shoot raw internally, especially at 8K. Like, I mean, that's although, I mean, we can have a whole discussion about whether or not that actually matters. But in terms of, usability and media costs and stuff like that. But yeah, when they came out with it, I was like, wow, man, I love this energy, man. Like, I love what Canon is doing, man. It's crazy. But then, as you all know, the damn overheating. If the thing turns into a damn campfire, as I'm using it, I mean, that's just I'm good. Then they market it as this video focused camera, but then we got the record limits, and that presents a number of issues that you need to work around depending on what you're doing. And I'm just like, nah, man. Enter the A7S III, man. Look, this is perfection for me, honestly. What else do I need to ask for, right? I got autofocus, class leading. I got night vision, class leading. You know what I'm saying? I got 4K all the way up to 120 internal. I got the 10-bit 422 as a color. It's like, oh my God, thank you, Sony. Thank you. You know, then they said, you know, and it, you know, shits and giggles. I mean, if you want to get a recorder and you want 16-bit raw, you know,
But
that too.
remember,
and I feel like most people don't know what they're doing with that. They wouldn't even know like 16. But bro, people can't do 10-bit yet. So they're gonna be sitting there doing 16-bit. They have no clue.
But you see, the thing is, even to say that there are no recorders that are capable of tapping into that 16-bit full raw. What it's doing is it's having to do the 16-bit out and scale it down to 12-bit for ProRes RAW for the Ninja 5. It's having to downgrade itself for the Ninja 5. Deep that.
That's what you call future proof, because like now Sony has set the bars like we need to record it out like this to get our cameras right. Who's gonna be the one who, you know what I'm saying, who live up to it?
Obviously Atomos, but
right,
you know,
obviously.
But man, like look, seriously, they did it all, man. They got the flip screen. They got the new menu system. They got the full touchscreen interface. You know, like, I mean, what else do you want? You know, we got higher bit rates. We got new codecs. You know what I'm saying?
Or HDMI.
I mean, yeah, we got the full HDMI. They revamped the little covers 2.1 the port.
HDMI 2.1. I want that to be driven away. Not 2.0, 2.1.
From top to bottom, like they revamped the whole thing. You know, this system, it doesn't overheat. You know, and okay, and we could, so let's talk about it. So now obviously 8K is gonna look better than 4K. So okay, the R5 got it there, and obviously the 8K downsampled to 4K is gonna look better than the regular 4K. But from what I've seen, it's not that much of a difference, and you gotta really, who's gonna be cropping in at like 400% to even see the difference. You know, it's like,
not only that, Sean, keep that in mind. That's only noticeable when you're putting it next to something. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're doing professional work, I can't see your client saying, all right, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to shoot the exact same scene with the Canon R5. I want you to prop in for me and tell me, do you see a difference?
Exactly.
Like, what?
Exactly. And on top of that, people got to really like curb their perspectives with all of this resolution stuff. I know Blackmagic came out with the 12K and Canon is with the 8K and it's like all the Ks, you know what I'm saying? But the most popular cinema camera, the Alexa Mini, doesn't even shoot true 4K. Like, it's like,
talk about it, Sean. Talk about it, bro.
There are so many other things that are like more important than like once you get to 4K, you basically got enough resolution. You need to start focusing on some other things: color, bit depth, lighting, dynamic range. I would say dynamic range. I would put dynamic range over resolution. Once you get to 4K, you can even make an argument at 1080. Honestly, dynamic range, top one. Like, and as it in its current implementation, we know Canon dynamic range is not really that thing, especially, you know, coming compared to Sony. And it's Canon Log 1, the original C-Log. So now obviously they're coming out, they say they're going to come out with a firmware update and give it, you know, C-Log 3, and that's cool and all. You know, and we know Canon can do it with other cameras like the C300 Mark III, the C500 Mark II, you know, but in their mirrorless bodies, I don't know, man. You know, so now we got the A7S3 with, you know, pretty much, we'll say 12 to 13 usable stops of dynamic range with night vision, killer autofocus, 10-bit color, 4K that looks great. I mean, like, bro, come on. Then with all those lenses, all these affordable lenses, we get to talk about the ecosystem and all of that stuff. I'm like, I honestly don't know, like, what, like, if you got the money, like, this is the direction you need to go.
Is
like,
Exactly. If you got the money, buy it.
I will say this.
Period.
I'm gonna add to what you're saying, Sean. The only thing I back Blackmagic for what they did with the 12K is that they did it with a usable codec now. That is a level of scalability that they did it with a 12K 60p footage that has 4,700 megabits per second of data rate, and you can use it on systems that are available now. That's where Blackmagic did it right. Whereas Canon did it with a CRM based raw system file that has crazy bit rates at 4K 30 at 2,600 megabits per second that I don't even know you can transfer it into your NLE without it crashing. That's the difference. So I give Blackmagic that.
And let's not forget that Sony actually made these codecs so usable and SD card friendly. They didn't need you to get you don't need a CF Express card. They was like, no, here, just switch up, just switch up to H.265. You can still get those crazy insane bit rates that you want. I'm like, yo, Sony, come on.
No, bro, even in the all-eye.
Stepping on their neck
even
like
in the all-eye. Bro, check this, yeah? The highest bit rate is 600 megabits per second. That works out to be 75 megabytes per second. V90 gives you a consistent...
Which a V90 card can handle.
So it's not even you need H.265. No. Every single recording mode, even that one that tops out internally, can be done to a UHS-II V90 spec card, right? That CF Express Type A, it's like a... It's not even... It's a flex. It's like, hey, we put it there. Maybe in the future, we might be able to enable some firmware updates for some new features. And then just in case it tips over what the UHS-II V90 can do, you can go to that. Bro.
Yes.
They made the perfect camera. And I just said this. The only thing you can critique is if you value that extra 8 to 12 megapixels of resolution for photography. And if you do, which I'm not going to hold it against anyone to say that if you value that, it's a problem. If you do, it's not your camera. But if you are not in that camp, please consider buying this camera before going to cinema camera. Because actually, what you're getting here, if you get the KTM XLR adapter, what apart from an SDI port, what are you exactly missing? I really can't understand.
Get an HRAM Pro audio recorder for that. If you want XLR audio, just get your recorder, hook the recorder up via 3.5 millimeter headphone jack.
You don't even need
your mic.
to.
You know what I'm saying?
Remember the
get the
XLR adapter. You've got the MI interface where there's an XLR adapter. I think it costs about $300, £300, and it gives you 2 high quality XLR inputs with phantom power that you can actually change, bro. I agree. Sony have won.
Choose that over cinema.
Sony have won.
They got it.
Like, you have to really think, do I need it? Gerald Undone was about to pull the trigger on one C300 Mark III, and you guys know how much I love that camera. He was able to buy 3 A7S3s with the XLR adapters and change leftover for lenses. Bro, and remember, the C300 Mark III is what? A Super 35 camera versus full frame, and it does all the shooter modes. But guess what? The C300 Mark III does the 4K 120 conformed in camera with no audio, where Sony can do it both, but it's a full frame sense. Like, get out. I'm done. Like, let's just end this. No. Yeah. What Sony just did is rude.
They got it, bro.
It's like what they did. It's rude to the point they're making people cancel their pre-orders on cinema cameras. They've blurred the line so hard that you can cancel a pre-order on a cinema camera like the C300 Mark III. Are you like?
Yeah,
man.
Yeah, I mean, dude, we can't. I felt like at this point it's just gonna be. It's gonna be beating the dead horse, man. I mean,
okay. So let's say the question. When are we
camera.
getting it? I'm saying absolute latest. My birthday, May 2022. I'm getting an A7S3. I'm putting it out there. That's when I'm getting it.
So Sean's October. I already know that. Sean, if you change your mind,
not
September
and
August.
I'm not changing.
No. Sean's not changing. Sean has to be the first. This has been the camera. This is Sean's camera, right? First, if you don't,
yes, this
if
is
you
true.
don't, we are all hunting him down. We are making sure we beat him. We are doing something to him. He has to own it first, right? I've put my date, so you guys can't say, you know, latest. So if I get any sooner, that means I've been doing stuff right for me to get that camera sooner. But I've said my birthday 2022, A7S3 is mine, right? But now Sean B, now the ball's in your court. Is Lumix gonna save you from switching with the GH6? Are they gonna do what they need to do in the GH6, like I said in my video? If not, when are you getting the A7S3?
If Panasonic doesn't respond,
you gotta put a date. You gotta prophesy it.
Panasonic ain't doing shit. Just get the damn
Panasonic
A7 III.
if the Panasonic don't respond, I'm gonna say Black Friday 2021.
All right, cool.
And at this rate, that's really doable.
Oh, bro, you
like
can do
that's
it. That's really doable.
That's really
You're killing it at the minute. That's really
but
doable.
The GH6 though, I want to say this because I know everybody here got their own cameras. Ben, you had your camera, the Fuji X-T4 or something you was waiting on. Shine, you was waiting on your A7S3. If Panasonic delivers me a GH6 and it's everything that we said it was gonna be, I'm telling y'all right now, don't have me in the stream because can't nobody say nothing to me, bro.
Yeah,
I don't care about no A7S3. Care about no XT4. If Panasonic delivers what I want, where I don't have to sit there and re-upgrade, you know, I can use my same lenses, the same batteries, and possibly keep my GH5. Oh, bro, it's over.
I agree.
It's
I
over.
agree.
It's
I
over.
agree.
For me,
I don't think they're gonna do it.
And
they are though.
I don't think they will.
I don't think they're gonna do it.
I keep saying it, man.
Did you just jump at the camera?
I'll just say this to really wrap this up here. I don't think they will. I really don't think they will. I just don't. And this is me saying this. I want to be wrong. It's not something I'm saying that I made a video because I'm passionate about crop sensors. I said it. I'm a system fan, but there is no brand loyalty here, right? And the value proposition, and I'm that person, the value proposition of a crop sensor for video and photo making has allowed me to practically buy a studio. That's the value proposition, right? And I can not just emulate, but I can match and grow into the quality that can be given by these cameras that are coming out, you see? So it can be done. Whether they choose to, that's where I'm having lack of faith right now. Sony, you've won. You've honestly won. You've done the magic. You took some of Blackmagic's energy and you just brought it into your own heat, and you've created something that has really made, I'll say they've made me proud, and they've made me even more excited that I am a content creator and this is something that relates to me, you know. So that's my conclusion.
Hey, also, I want to this whole critique about I'm backing up a little bit. This critique about the stills capability with the A7S3, like it's almost like
reaching,
borderline not
it's
fair.
reaching.
Yeah, because it's like it's a video camera, like in a stills format kind of body. Like it could take pictures, but it's clearly a video centric camera. You know, it's not meant to be like 50-50 on both things. This is clearly like a 80-20, 90, even 90-10 sort of thing. You know, and I think you guys might have talked on this earlier, but as a video camera, it looks to be flawless. Like it has no limitations. It works exactly as it's supposed to. Then you go to the other cameras like the R6 and the R5, which are clearly hybrid cameras. Like it's more close to 50-50 split. You know, you got 45 megapixels with the R5, you know, to take stills and whatnot. You had another 22 on the R6. But fuck, if you're taking pictures and then you go to a video and then it tells you, nah, bro, you only got 30 seconds. Hurry up and take this video. We're shutting it down. What kind of hybrid camera is that?
What's funny is, Sean, they didn't do that with the GH5S, if you notice. I don't know why they doing it. And I feel like these are Canon fanboys trying to really say, like, well, it's going to have 12 megapixels. When the GH5S came out, nobody was like, well, the GH5 only has 10 megapixels. I don't want to take pictures of that. It's like, well, I know it's a video camera. So why aren't they looking at that with the A7S III? And I tell you why. It's because Canon came out with 45 and 24, but it's like, bro, realistically, let's just go ahead and call it what it is. The Canon R5 and Canon R6 are not usable video cameras.
They're not. They're far from.
Certainly not in the way that the A7S3 is.
Right. So, but I do want to go back a little bit because my man's Basil, he with me. And it's like he don't understand how we can doubt Panasonic when they were did 10-bit internal before everyone, right? Before anyone else, which I'm like, I think they did.
Doubting them. We're doubting them on a system, right? Because they're putting that energy on full frame. No one doubts what they can do. It's not about doubting them. It's doubting the fact that they will carry the system that got them there because they're pushing full frame. That's it. No one is saying Panasonic's completely dead. No. Panasonic have a strong cinema lineup, right? With their very cameras. Like they've got a strong lineup. What we're saying is the system that gave them that kind of accolade, they are abandoning it for the pursuit of bringing that same energy from MFT into full frame. That's what the issue is.
Yeah, and here's the other thing. At the time when the GH5 came out, the tech just was not there to do what they did with that camera for full frame, maybe even APS-C. So they went with micro four thirds, and because the sensor's so small, they were able to pull it off. But now times have shifted to the point where now the tech is there. Like you can you don't even have to compromise on your sensor size now. Like what I would like them to do, just forget micro four thirds. If you want to go crop, come out with a brand new APS-C camera. You know what I'm saying? If you gotta do it.
They already said they won't do it. They won't do it. They already said they won't because it's too close to full frame. They like having that separation. So they're not.
Then it's just like, bro, just fix your full frame line. Like, just
So I want to go with something Basil said. So he said 3 things. I'm gonna read the last one.
I'm in the chat.
He said he won't defend it. Okay, so you're in the chat, so you see it. But he said micro four third is as good as full frame, in my opinion. I've never had a cinema a client say that look micro four third, I want a refund. No, you're true. Like, listen, we get that, but we're not saying
it is.
It's what we're saying is that micro four thirds has a limitation. Period. That full frame does not. You're going to get a better image quality out of full frame, better low light, better shallow depth of field. It just is what it is. We're not saying that you can't use micro four thirds. Again, I'm a micro four third shooter, so I'm gonna rock with it to the end of days. But I do understand the limitations of my camera, and I just work around them just like any other camera limitations. Now, what I do want to go in at is when you said that you don't need you to defend it, but I think you've been in my comments enough, so I know you know how to use a camera, and I know that you are very well versed in cameras. So Basil, to say that the A7S3 is a terrible camera without anything to coincide, it's just like the A7S3. In what way is it terrible? It's literally a GH5, but better in every way.
Let me add to that, Sean.
In every single way.
Let me add to that. Let's go do our homework, right? On an accessible camera level, what camera do you know can shoot? This is how you make the A7S3 overheat. You have to shoot at the highest bit rate in 4K 120 for over an hour. And let me just break it down. You are shooting at such a high bit rate with individual frames being pulled. The camera's not conforming it inside without audio. It's shooting 4K with audio at 10-bit, 422 with individual frames for over an hour that you can take into post and you can manipulate yourself with audio. That's how you make the camera cripple, in inverted commas, cripple.
Okay.
And that is with that's with no recording limit, right? On an exFAT file system that records it all as a single file with no splitting to make life easier in some way. Tell me what camera can do that. I'll wait. No, I'll wait.
Not one. You're gonna be waiting forever at the end of the day. He already said he was just trolling. He was, and I'm like, Basil, I know Basil, you know cameras. I know you just. I think he was trolling that. You got me a little bit. Cause I'm like, bro, stop.
He got Ben fired up. I was confused. I was like,
nah, bro, I'm
right.
Bro,
to me, the A7S3 is what the S1H. The A7S3 is what I wanted the S1 series to be for the GH5.
Yes.
I wanted the S1 to be that. I didn't want the S1H to be there. I wanted the S1 to be the A7S3. And I don't know why Panasonic didn't. And if anything, because you know what's crazy? If Panasonic would have made the S1 like the A7S III with the flip screen, the 10-bit and everything, I guarantee you people, just like they did with the GH5, they would have forgave the autofocus. They would have forgave it. They would have forgave it. Because it'd have been the first full-frame camera that has a flip screen like that and it does 10-bit everything, no crop, no compromises. The only thing you got to worry about is the autofocus. So like now, if that was the case for the S1, the A7S III again wouldn't be so glorious. The problem is, man, so many camera manufacturers kept trying to tackle the resolution thing. Nobody's asking you for 6K and 8K. We're asking you just for 10-bit, good quality 4K footage and some great autofocus. That's all people have been asked for in dual car stop recording. That's it. So a lot of these camera manufacturers failed at their own, you know what I'm saying, at their own problems because it's like you just wasn't listening. We told you what we wanted, and you said, "Nah, we're gonna give you what you think you want." Okay, well, that's why Sony's gonna take everybody's money.
I'm gonna.
Yeah.
Go. Drop it.
Yeah, but just to reiterate what Sean was saying, like you can go out here and flame some stuff out with any of these cameras. Just, you know, like if you put a GH5 in my hands, I'm gonna make fire content. It doesn't matter. You put an XT4 in my hands, I'm gonna make fire content. You know, I'm definitely not saying that Micro Four Thirds is trash, but I mean, full frame is objectively a better sensor, like for a number of reasons.
With no compromises now.
But yeah, and now that people have really worked the tech with it, I mean, it's basically like you look at the A7S III, it's like you have no compromises now. It's
and I'm gonna add this to it as well. As much as I have no brand loyalty, I want to commend Fuji and especially Sony for really speaking on Black Lives Matter, not as a political movement, but as a human rights thing, right? For really that adds the cherry on top of all of these things. The way Fuji, I'm speaking from my first-hand experience, the way they've supported me to revive my content creation and my business back, unbelievable.
So, you know what? Real talk. So honestly, too, that again, that plays a big part for me because I even said this in the live chat. Really, like that kind of hit home a little bit. When it's like Panasonic, like. Y'all ain't got no black ambassadors, bro. And then on top of that, y'all don't even say nothing to the people that's being affected or the people who's buying your cameras. Like that was, and Sony was so vocal about it, bro. Sony was so vocal about like everything. Like, nah, we ain't with that. You know what I'm saying? Like we stand with y'all.
And even just to add, bro, when I message the guys at Fuji, I wait no longer than 15 minutes to get a reply. I'm saying. There's no brand loyalty, but there's that extra bit to finalize it where companies like Fuji, but especially Sony, being like, you know, currently aware of the situation and putting their money where their mouth is and doing stuff and then innovating, bro. Sony, I'm proud of you guys, man. Clap, round of applause. You got my win. You got my W, and I will. By that time, no later than my birthday, 2022 in May, I want an A7S III. Done.
All right, so
I'm just gonna say two things real quick. First of all, the R6 can go die in a fire for not being able to dual record. It can eat a fat dick for not being able to dual record to both car slots. That camera just doesn't exist. Also, Ben, I don't know if you heard this, but I saw it mentioned somewhere. I was going to ask Armando on Twitter, but I heard that the R5 can dual record, but it doesn't dual record the same quality of both cars. Like it records like full quality.
It has to. And this is where, because it's CF Express Type B, the bigger card, and the second slot, they didn't go with a CF Express Type A, and they went with the UHS-II. It's this, the speeds can't match, and because the bit rates are so high and so unattainable, it's basically the V90 UHS-II. It's too low of a spec. You see, they just missed the mark. Unlike Blackmagic and what Sony have done with usable codec and bit rates, they missed the mark. So yeah, you can't do technically proper dual recording unless you go down to the really, really poor quality 4K pixel binning, line skipping 4K mode. And at that point, your 1080p footage in your Fuji X-T4 at 200 megabits per second, oversampled with 10-bit and all-I looks better than that. So why would I? Why would I? And I can dual record for video on my Fuji. I'm doing it right now. I'm dual recording on my Fuji, enter my Atomos right now, and no overheating. So what incentive are you giving me?
What you're telling me is the R5 and R6 are complete, like, it is what it is. They're not usable professional video cameras.
Just put it this way. Buy it if you want photos and you, whatever reason, want dual pixel autofocus generation 2 and you love Canon photography and you have lots of Canon glass and you want to invest in RF. That's it. That is it.
To me, that makes no sense because at the very least, we all know 45 megapixels is like overkill. So you can technically, a photographer is perfectly fine with an EOS R.
Thank you.
You can't dual record anyway, so what's the point of having a dual card slot?
They've gone and made the EOS R the most reliable R series mirrorless camera in their range, and that camera was already crippled. How do you make the cripple look like the best? How do you go and make the cripple look like the best? Please let me know.
I didn't even think
how
about that.
How have you made the cripple camera?
Your new cameras? Your new camera has made your older garbage camera, because I feel the EOS R is a garbage camera. I do. It is what it is. It's amazing for photography, but for the time that it came out, the EOS R was like, what? And if you think about it, they kind of did the same thing with the R5 and R6 you came out. It's like, what are you doing? You got companies building fans to keep your camera cool because when I take pictures, it's gonna pre-overheat the camera, bro. My camera should not be an oven. I should not be. Me taking pictures should not be preheating.
Preheating. I've never. That, and I said it on the live stream. When I heard that, I said that is deal breaker city, and I'm speaking not from bro. I'm the main videographer at church. During congregation, praise and worship, I'm taking pictures mixed with slow-mo, B-roll, and A-roll. I do it all the time. I'm on run and gun. There's action happening here. I gotta take pictures, instantly switch to video, and take high frame rate. Are you telling me as I'm taking all these bursts of pictures, I'm pre-overheating my camera and I can't even take video? You like, don't even get upset. I'm even vexed thinking about that.
Hey Ben, you know what that's telling me and Sean? Because Sean and I, we were like, yo, bro, maybe we should get before the R6 or R5 came out, we was like, man, maybe the R6 would be some great wedding cameras, right? So what that's telling Sean and I is that if we want to get some established shots before a ceremony, like we always do, our B-rolls, we want to just, go out and just go shoot before the ceremony actually starts. We can't no more because we need to make sure our cameras are cool enough to actually film them doing their
And even then, it's not guaranteed.
What?
And on top of that, crazy. That's crazy.
And on top of that, right? Think about this, right? I don't know if anybody's been talking about this, but a concern for me was if the files are getting corrupted when the camera shuts down.
Thank you.
And you can't dual record, so you don't even have a backup if it did do
Guys,
that.
if you want high megapixels for photography, save your money, get an A7R3. That's it. Just save your money and get
which is a better capable, it's more capable than, in my opinion, than the R6, because at the gate you can dual record.
Yeah, you can. Just guys, if there's no brand loyalty here. If you're so hung up on high megapixels, the A7R3 does it. It does it, and it does it well. It's the first camera to have the Z-type battery. They fix all the overheating. The screen's usable. The autofocus is still best in class. You've got pixel shifting where you can merge and double the resolution in still situations on a tripod. It has IBIS, right? Guys, honestly, don't get hung up on the 45 megapixels unless you really, really like Canon that much. That is up to you, right? But I kid you not, Camera Conspiracies is out of a job. I think right now he doesn't know what to do with himself. If you watch his latest video, the stuff that he was trying to complain about the A7S III, you knew that he was reaching, and he was just trolling for the sake of trolling. And I was laughing, but I said, bro, you must be really upset with Sony because someone must have really loved your channel enough and said, you know what, let's just make the perfect camera for him so we can laugh at him when we see it. Done.
That's true. You know what's funny? I wouldn't be surprised if Sony's seen some of his videos like, there's no such thing as a perfect camera. Watch this.
Yep. Yep. So
watch this. I got you.
I ain't got nothing else. I'm just happy. I'm happy for anyone that can pull the trigger now if it makes sense to them. And I'm happy for all the second and the third movers that can get that camera, because if people are excited to get the A7S II and the A7 III, which are cameras that are between 2 to 5 years old in 2020, imagine people in 2023, 2024, 2025 getting the A7S III and how cheap it will be on the second and the used market and third owned and pre-owned. The price they're going to be getting that camera for, come on. This is the best time to be a content creator. What complaints do we have now? And going forward, camera manufacturers, if you're not doing the same and making it the same price or cheaper, don't enter the chat. You're going to sink and you're going to waste money on a lot of hardware that no one's going to buy. Simple. I don't know what else you guys want to say, but I think that's it.
And you know, honestly, if this last thing I'm going to say, if I was a Canon exec after that A7S III announcement, as great as that camera is, I would have been sitting somewhere sweating my ass off thinking about, well, if they did this with the A7S III, then what the hell are they going to do with the A7 IV?
Sean, listen, you don't have to go back and rewatch the segment. Me and Ben already covered that. The A7 IV, honestly, I'm really more so anticipating that camera than the A7S III, because they're gonna make a baby A7S III, because they did the same thing with the A7 III. If you look at the A7S II with the A7 III, it picked up a lot from the A7S II. And now when the A7 IV come out, Shine, if they just give us 10-bit, if they give me 10-bit 4K 60 and a flip screen with the new menu system and all that, the autofocus, I'm game. And they price it, if they price it at, because they went up $500, right? Even if they price the A7 IV at $24.99, that's still a value.
Yes, I agree.
That's still a value.
Sony.
Yeah, so basically all they're gonna do, slash the 4K 120 down to 60, slash the raw output, slash maybe the EVF, drop the price,
I said that. See,
and keep everything else the same.
That's exactly what we said. We said if they wanted to, if they really wanted to be cheaper, they can get rid of the Type A cards. But even still, with them slashing all of that, that's $2,500. Yep,
gonna sell like hotcakes, just like the A7 III.
It's going to shine. If that A7 IV comes out next year, that's why. Like, that's the thing, bro. That's why I'm really trying to wait. All these cameras dropping this year is dope, but the camera that I have is still very fire. I still love my GH5, and I will bang with anybody with any camera with this camera. But if the A7 IV drops for $24.99, and it's a baby A7S III, oh, okay. Yeah, let me get that. Run that over here, bro.
And that's pretty much what they're going to do.
Because then Micro Four Thirds will really be dead to me. Because it's like, well, Panasonic, you make a $2,000 buy.
Dead, bro. Sorry.
And the A7 IV come out at $2,500.
Sean Miles's comment on my Dear Lumix video has aged so well, and I'm gonna screenshot that comment to you, Sean. Your comment on my Dear Lumix video has aged so well. So let me just say this: bye, MFT. Bye. It's done. It's done. APS-C's got a better chance of surviving than MFT. Sorry. And I'm gonna throw this out there to end it, right? Sony, could you please bring a bit of that magic to your A7000 series APS-C next generation cameras, please? That's all I'm saying. If you could bring that same energy. I'm still an APS-C fan. I would love to have a baby version of that. Maybe. I'm just saying.
You can't say Micro Four Third is dead and that APS-C is not right behind them, because I think if we're going off what we are saying, is that full frame that is now coming with no compromises, no crops, it's becoming affordable. True. Why would I buy APS-C?
That's true as well. That is true
when
as
I get a full frame for the same price.
That's true as well. And that's what I said in my video, that I think Sony were on that Doctor Strange energy of we are now in the end game, and they've really brought the end game to not just resolutions but also sensor and the ultimate usability in a camera. Well done, Sony. You've won. You've really won.
This year,
You've won.
This year, Sony, not Canon. This year, Sony to me has just made full frame like the new normal
it is,
type of
it
thing.
is.
Like 2020 is like this is the start of an era where full frame would be the new normal.
Yeah, it is. They said it, and they said it in the DP review that we hope to exceed people's expectations. We didn't understand it, and we thought maybe they were gonna bring some resolution stuff, but they've gone a way that they really have exceeded our expectations. And and I'm just even imagining my workflow of being able to just record H.264 all I 422 10-bit high bitrate footage that I can record straight to an SD card, edit off the SD card with no proxies ever, and it's smooth playback. Basically you're giving me an emulated version of how ProRes behaves internally. That, guys, I don't know what else to say, but wow, oh wow, oh wow. I didn't even think we're gonna be here this soon, but we're already here.
So
that's it, folks.
Yeah, but on that note, man, I ain't got nothing else.
Nothing else. Sean Miles, you got anything else?
Yep. I'm good.
I'm
man.
good, bro. Guys, these are my bros in tech and camera talk. We're bringing you this one fresh off the press. We're bringing it to you the best that we can. Dual streaming through Restream.io to my channel and Sean B's channel in 4K UHD with the best. And Sean knows. Sean, tell him what I did to make sure you sound good this time, right? Tell him.
Hey, listen. He put me on this NVIDIA RTX voice.
Yep.
Suppression type of. Listen, man, I don't know what type of magic it worked, but if I've been sounding like as good as Ben, that's why. Like the RTX voice feature or whatever, man, it is for this world. And that's why I sound all crispy, the American Idris Elba.
Yeah, of course. And guys, thank you for both on the channels for rocking with us. We appreciate it. It's been fun. We can't wait to actually just see where this goes. I'm enjoying. I'm fully restored. I've got my VR150 from Godox. My Atomos Ninja V is back. I've got a complete system, and I haven't even finished ordering the stuff. We've got audio. I'm grateful for where I am now, but where I am now is going to help me build something that will make it so easy for me to get this camera by latest May 2022, and it will even make sense by then, because I'll probably be able to get a used one for even cheaper, which will work great for me. So, like, thank you Sony, thank you Fuji, and guys, thank you for rocking with us. We are gonna sign out, and I hope you guys have enjoyed. Until the next time, what we obviously aim to do is we try and do this. I think we were trying to aim to do this the last Sunday of every month, but man, impromptu stuff happens in the camera scene, so we come in and we got to give you the news and the reactions as the brothers do, hot off the press. So I hope you guys have enjoyed the time. We're gonna close out. We're gonna sign out. We will catch you in the next one. Peace. Well, Sean, do you want to add something? Sorry.
Yes, I want to say this for the subs who are still watching. For my subs who are still in here now, I know there has been like a shortage of videos for the past 2 weeks. Your boy's been busy, like with the professional work,
getting a bag.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been really, really busy. But if you have been wanting to kind of see my professional work, I always post myself to IG. So if you're not following me on IG, make sure you follow me on IG at Brooks Media with 2 S's, and you will just kind of be updated with what I'm doing. But that's the only reason why I got videos done for y'all. I just gotta chop them up, make it look good. We got the Daddy, got the Lenovo. I got some new lights that I bought. I got a camera bag. I got a What's in My Camera bag coming. So just stay tuned, and I'm coming, y'all. It's just I've been busy.
Sean Miles, anything for you to closing thoughts?
Man, Sean is lying to y'all. He ain't been busy. He been out flying drones with me all day. Don't listen to what he's saying, man.
It's
He's
been,
alive.
it's been.
First of all, you never press the light stand, man.
Here we.
They're allowed
I
in
was
your
wondering.
face.
I was wondering.
You
I'm like,
had
you
to,
gotta
man.
come out
We
at
had
least
to
one
throw it out,
time
man.
on
We had
the
to
stream,
throw it
but-
out. No,
Never trust
no,
the
but
light
guys, it's
stand.
been fun.
Never.
We're gonna sign out.
Don't believe
We'll
it.
catch you in the next one. Stay blessed. Peace.